if the 5 kinds of sinful activities are multiplied 10 million times, still they cannot compare to Nam Aparadha. In the Vaishnava's teachings, there's a tendency of loving exaggeration to the point that one will be overly fearful or overly relieved at ease when one reads the different statements given by the acharyas. In reality, the appropriate proportion of glorification and of threats, of punishments for the individuals in their past in this world are very highly motivated by the intense desire of the devotee to reach the heart of the other person and to practically drag him to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. The lotus feet of Lord Krishna and the divine loving feelings which arise in the heart of a devotee can be understood in the sometimes dramatic statements of Vrindavan Das Thakur, when he speaks about the glory of Lord Chaitanya and how unfortunate the position is of somebody who has no faith in him. Transcendental exaggeration is only utilized for making a point. This transcendental exaggeration is really born out of the approach of the infinite. Because when you approach the infinite, everything is infinitely wonderful when you go in his direction and infinitely horrible if you don't. Everything in connection with the Lord, last not least, cannot even be an exaggeration, because the Supreme Lord is infinite and absolute in every sense of the word. Nevertheless, when we hear statements such as billions of servants or the most wonderful, the most beloved is being applied to a host of different people, then you understand that is not the common usage of language which we are using in a mathematical, rational society. It is born out of love. It is this statement which is given to communicate the urge upon you that it is time to change your life. So, sinful activities and Nam Aparadha is here the example. So, if the 5 kinds of sinful activities are multiplied 10 million times, still they cannot compare to a Nam Aparadha. Nam Aparadha is so serious. Yes, because if you offend the holy name, if you offend the Vaishnavas, if you offend what is dear to the Lord, then you will be dismissed from the loving area. You will be dismissed from entering into the world of bhakti. And that is 10 million times worse than just paying for some sinful karmic reaction. Because you can stay definitely for millions of lifetimes in this material world of duality enjoying and suffering and enjoying and suffering. But to come in contact with devotees and to come in contact with the holy name is so infinitely important that if you lose this, you should actually feel just like this answer of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Jaiva Dharma, that this is the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst which could ever happen to you. Therefore, don't let it happen. It is a warning. It's a mother screaming. Don't go there. Danger is there. It is the caution, the paternal love extended to keep you in a safe place. If we do have this understanding, this will help us in the reading of some of the extraordinary statements which are there in the scriptures, which are perfect ways to convey the importance of the transcendental consciousness, to convey the importance of surrender now. Because if you do not surrender now, excuse me, sir, when will you surrender? It is something very beautiful. The relative and the absolute come in contact. It's a very tasking situation. Because, as Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Maharaj points out, there is only one thing in creation. There's only one thing in reality. And that is called now. What is now? Who are you now? That is the reality. You see, now is eternal. Now is you in your relationship with God. There will always be only now. If you don't make now the decision, then there's no reason why you should make it in some other now. It is or it isn't. It is the goal or it is not the goal. It is understood or it is not understood. What is the issue? Now the presence is the awareness, is the consciousness, is the decision. Are you in the world of faith or not? Do you recognize the Lord or not? Do you feel His devotees are the all-in-all of deep friendship, association, inspiration or not? Will you have satsanga or asatsanga? Will you take shelter of the holy name and the service of the holy name or not? Of course, we know there's many intermediate stages in our devotional evolution, and it is not an absolute thing to come very high, very easily, instantly. But then again, it is also seen that it is an absolute possibility. Just like by the grace of the Vaishnava, our life may be transformed virtually instantly. There's no question that the Vaishnava's mercy need a period to take effect. It can come into full effect instantly. So the power of now is the power of mercy, is the power of love. It is the power of Sharanagati. It is the power of your own soul being part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and His freedom being invested, embedded within your heart and bringing it to the point that the highest execution of that freedom is the absolute renunciation of that freedom at His lotus feet. So the power of now is of that intense level that there is no exaggeration possible to point out what is the importance of now. But we are very expert in wasting now away for some reason of bad association, offenses, lack of sukriti, curiosity about nonsense activities, or not even curiosity, because many of the nonsense activity we are curious about are the same ones we have already experienced in the past and we have already been burned with in the past, but still we want to repeat it for some strange and silly reason. So there is an incredible amount of capacity within us for degradation. And there is an incredible capacity for love and surrender. Because of that, we can understand that the urge of accepting the great advantage and the mercy being available to you through the now is so elevated that not taking advantage of it now would be the greatest blunder. In that mood, devotees preach. In that mood, devotees convey their messages of love. I'll give you an example to show that. If I am handing over my child to somebody else for care, because I have to go on a journey, there is only the now which is important, because I convey to him the now awareness that he now has to take care of that child entirely at every given second, that responsibility of caring for that child which you leaving into his hands, be it for a minute or for a week, is an absolute requirement of now attention. And unless he embraces that spirit, you will not leave your child with him. You will say, no, I do anything else but not leave my child, which I love and which is under my care, into some careless situation. So, of course, it's only an analogy, but there is much to it, because we are talking about loving relationships. And as a parent has a loving relationship for his or her child, in the same way Krishna has a loving relationship with all his devotees. And even with those who are not yet actively, externally exhibiting their devotional qualities, Krishna still has an intensive loving relationship with them. So therefore, if you want to enter into the world of Krishna, the world of love, you got to accommodate the intense feelings of responsibility, of care. We say tender love and care. Well, that's what we care for, to find. We don't care for indifference, gross, harshness, and carelessness. We don't care for that. No, we shy away from it. We run away from it. Anywhere we find that there's no true hearts concerned, we really wish to not be there. When it comes to the heart-to-heart relationships, they require sacrifice. They require to be very much connected. Just like the Guru is always connected with the disciple. He's always available for the disciple. And that is why the disciple feels safe and secure. Because he feels there's the love of the senior, of the representative of the truth, who will protect me from taking wrong decisions. So the world of bhaktis, the world of bhakti, and the world of Bhagavan is a very, very intense world. It's not a world of shallowness, indifference, and sleepiness, and things like that. They don't fit there. Mediocrity doesn't combine well with devotion. In devotion, everything is done to the maximum degree of one's capacity. in the world of devotion, we feel the great need of becoming a pure devotee, of becoming a perfect servant, of becoming a real beloved of the one you aspire to love, and to that he may feel that you will love him. What's the use of love of God if God never feels that we love him? What's the use of love of God if we offend and minimize and neglect those who are beloved to the Lord? This is the area of Aparadha. The Aparadha is the contradiction, is where you go against the purpose of love. Radha comes from Aradhana, and Aparadha is the opposite. Go away from the worship of the Lord's beloved and do the opposite. So it's extreme. And now is extreme. Now is the decision to do the right thing or the wrong thing. Now is the decision to surrender or to become a rebel. Now is the decision to qualify for getting mercy or for being dismissed. We have seen many people getting dismissed, and it is our fear to be dismissed as well. Once they asked Srila Guru Maharaj, what is fear personified? Because in the Bhagavatam it is mentioned that the chanting of the holy names can even vanquish fear personified. And the answer he gave was very beautiful. He said, fear personified is the fear of a devotee not to be accepted in the realm of divine service of Srimati Radharani. That is the fear personified. That you will not qualify. That you will not be accepted. That all your efforts are in vain. That you maintain some negative energy and vibration in your activities, in your mood, in your attachment to sense gratification, in your pride, in your arrogance, and for that you are being dismissed from the level of divine service. Hurled down to Vaikuntha. That was the statement of Srila Bhakti-Ranga Shakshi Maharaj. Hurled down to Vaikuntha. What a statement, no? What an incredible meaning is there within such a statement, We are here in the level of devotion, which is just the beginning steps, surrounded of the world of hellish mentalities and existence, where even Mother Cow is mistreated absolutely, where everything is terrifying. We are in the concentration camp of the exploitation world. And right in there, we are talking about divinity and reaching to the world of love and all that, no? But then we are hearing, hurled down to Vaikuntha. What? Vaikuntha is so high above us. And somebody is being hurled down to Vaikuntha. What is this? What are they talking about? Well, that is the intensity we are relating to. We cannot neglect it. We cannot deny it. Our spiritual teachers are coming from the realm of Radha Dasya. They're coming from the world of concern of the beloved Supreme Ladini Shakti. They are not coming from Shanta Ras level. They are not coming from Dasya Ras level. And Dasya Ras is Vaikuntha, is wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Pure devotees serving the Lord with awe and reverence. Pure devotees doing everything to please Him. Pure devotees reaching His eternal association. Salokya Shashti Samipya Sarupya Ikatma Abhyuta. There's 5 types of liberation. In Dasya Ras they can receive. Living with the Lord on the same planet. Having a form like Vishnu. Having this personal association of the Lord. Living in His association. That can be achieved in Dasya Ras, but our acharyas are not coming from the Dasya Ras. They're not even very concerned with it. Of course, in the higher Ras, the Dasya, the service principle, is entirely included, but it is not the priority. It is not the utmost concern. Mother Yashoda doesn't think that she's serving Krishna when she's so much concerned in doing everything for her. She's just having her maternal affection flowing over in heaps and bounds in all directions, nurturing her little child, and that's all she is. It's not that, can you please do a service for me? She can relate to that. That statement doesn't apply there. And what to speak in Madhurya Ras. And then friendship in Sakya Ras, well, friendship is wonderful, transcendental friendship. And even a little bit of that is found in Vaikuntha, but not to the extreme degree of the friendship of Gopas and Krishna. We don't hear the associates of the Lord rolling with Lord Vishnu on the ground and having a mock fight and declaring, I won, you lose, Vishnu. You're sorry, it's my turn now. This type of intensity of loving affairs, they're available in that realm of Goloka. It is being heard about from those devotees who come from there, who are concerned about that. Vishnu Bhaktas, they can't relate to it. When I went to see Lord Venkateshwara, the Supreme Lord Vishnu, as he descends on this planet Earth and has been worshipped for thousands and thousands of years in his most wonderful form and most opulent worship and most impressive way of being attended, everybody approached him chanting, Govinda, 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 Govinda. And I was very happy because I was thinking about Govardhan. But at the same time, I could also feel that this is a hidden portion of him. And that those people who go there, the majority, think it is the name of Lord Vishnu, Govinda. And they are not meditating on the deepest of the... Another thing, in the Vishnu, when I went to South India, I discovered many things which were very surprising to me. I discovered that the samadhis, they're not called samadhis. They're called Vrindavan. So they're also going to Vrindavan, since everybody's ending up there with their physical existence. So everybody goes into Vrindavan in the final stage of the Vaikuntha Bhaktas. And so in many things there, I could see that Lord Krishna's mercy has gone there and has reached them. The name of Govinda has reached there. And Govardhan is very popular. And there is so much awareness, and still they are not considering of the superiority of Lord Krishna and Radharani above Lakshmi and Narayan. That part is not fathomable to them for some reason the Lord knows. So our spiritual masters, they are coming from this incredible realm of intensity called Madhurya Ras. Bhav. These feelings are very, very intense and worshipable. We can only keep them upon our head, because if we put them inside of our head, we will do injustice to them. We will chop them to pieces with our scrutinizing, suspicious mind, and will try to give some interpretation on what the real meaning is of such loving, intense, extreme calls, such as Vrindavan Das Thakur or sometimes Krishna Das Kaviraj. Those who do not accept Lord Nityananda, I never want to see their face. Things like that. Very extreme. The world of love is extreme, and it must be extreme. And it is the world to which we are invited and which we are thirsty, eager to reach. The world where everything is top intensity, top surrender, top responsibility, top lovingness. It's like that. So, I'm very thankful for these preachings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because they bring you into an intense contact with the spirit of the pure devotee's concern. The concerns of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the concerns of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the concerns of the gopis, and that is the only important thing in this world, nothing else. And how to catch that, how to understand it? Well, by reading their statements and by seeing how they've been living and acting, we can get some idea of it. When we're talking about saintly persons, who's a saint? Who's a pure devotee? Of course, within the realm of one's faith, everyone may think of certain persons when he talks like that. I just can say, for me, the most saintly persons are the ones I've seen in their saintly activities, in their absorption, in their degree. And one of them is Srila Bhakti Maharaj. His saintliness was so obvious. His concern, his love, his profoundness, his feelings, his expression of Dayanitai, O most merciful Lord Nityananda, please give me grace, give me the shade of your lotus feet. And the struggle and the concern, the love, which emanated from him, or just as much from Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, even at the high age of 99 years, 100 years, still be only love, only concern, only uplifting activities. You know, I saw him hugging Jayapataka Swami, coming up from his bed, hugging him, even though he knows very well that so many misunderstandings have been emanated from that section of the population in Mayapur. Still, he was ready to hug him and give his love. I could see there's an unlimited love in the Vaishnavas, which not everybody can understand, not everybody can see, but if there's such an intense dedication to the upliftment of others, unconditionally, you may ask when a person should start being concerned about himself. That's a good question. Many people ask that specifically when they want to raise the question, when shall we start preaching? One person here in Vrindavan said, you should only preach after you are pure devotee and you have no more material desires. Which would probably mean that the preaching would halt to a ground, almost altogether, if we would apply that principle on the minds of everybody. And Srila Prabhupada was the one who hung a book bag over my shoulder, not more than 14 hours after joining the movement. I joined it 9 o'clock in the night, and on 11 o'clock next morning I was out on Sankirtan with a book bag over my shoulder. And that was why Srila Prabhupada was here in this world and telling all his devotees, double it, double the preaching, publish more books, go invite more people to the temple. and I felt His grace and His joy. I'm not repenting anything. So, you see, there's different approaches to the issue. And Srila Prabhupada was so kind to accept us into the world of pure devotees. Because through him, I met all the other pure devotees I saw in my life. And when I talk about pure devotees, sincerely, there's many approaches you may take. One of the most beautiful ones and most accommodating was when Srila Bhakti-Rakshak Maharaj explained that pure means to be pure in purpose. That you have a good, positive, perfect intentions. Not that you have reached to that purity already, and that you never affected or shaken by any other influences arising from the senses or arising from the vasanas, the past desires of the mind, or arising from any other source your karma may put in your way. No, pure in purpose. The positive, transcendental intentions. And he made it clear again when he say, the quality of a man must be judged by the goal he has set for himself and for what he is striving and struggling to achieve. So, in that sense, a very accommodating explanation. But when I go around the Gaudiya Maths, or any place where there's Vaishnavas, I feel that I meet quite a few pure devotees. Quite a good amount, thanks to the grace of Srila Prabhupada and other spiritual masters. Now, there are many Karma Mishra Bhaktis, many Jnana Mishra Bhaktis, undoubtedly, and there's also many Nama Paradis who will eventually have to change, or they may reap the fruit of their aparads. It's also a reality. But I see so many simple, pure, dedicated servants of the holy name of Lord Krishna and his devotees, and I feel enchanted by them. And I feel that they are, at least with one leg, they're already in Goloka. Because there's no reason for them not to go. Because they've given everything. This is one thing very interesting. The Mayavadis, they're doing all the material, all the efforts of their mantra chanting, of their sadhana, all the efforts they make entirely are for giving up material desires, for becoming absorbed in truth, for reaching samadhi. Samadhi means no more opposition, no more objection from the negative side, total absorption into the positive. But what is that positive? The positive of the Mayavadi is the absence of the negative. And due to the absence of the negative, they're entering the realm of the positive. But in that positiveness, there's no practical application. There's no task. Therefore, they are inclined to giving up their individuality there. Whereas a devotee, a sincere devotee, who serves his guru from the morning to the night, he's already beyond material desires. Otherwise, he would work for his material desires. But he's not working for his material desires. He's working for the pleasure of the Lord. He's actually putting his effort, his energy, his heart, his soul, his tongue, his speech, his mind, everything he's dovetailing, dedicating for the sweet will of the Lord through his guru revealed to him. There's many devotees who act in that way. And not only one day or only on Sundays. No, every day. And they're every day up in the morning, Mangal Artik, chanting rounds. What service is supposed to be done? Service-like and pleasant in character and welcoming to others. And. as our gurus were until the very fag of their life, until the very second of leaving this world. They had this loving disposition to a maximum degree. So that is a pure devotee. And that is the one who has no more material desires. He is the greatest of the yogis, the greatest of the self-realized souls, because he's already engaged in the positive and progressive immortality. He's absorbed into the world of positive liberation. He has no business in a relative temporary world of ego. That is not attractive to him. He has given that up. So therefore Bhakti Yoga is of such a superior character, because it actually admits you right into the world of the positive, tangible, transcendental experience, and becoming an instrument of the love of the Lord, here and now. So, can that be argued? Is there any way to diminish that? If a person acts on behalf of the Lord, is his activity mundane, relative? It is not even karmic. There is no karmic reaction for devotional service. That's when you eat prasadam, instead of getting some reaction for killing a plant, you're getting purified by accepting the Lord's remnants. It is all in the details. It's all in the continuous submission to the sweet will, as it is being revealed to you further and further and further, because the Lord has much more to reveal to you. It's just beginning. We are just in the threshold. We are just in the very, very initial steps of appreciating the infinite. And that will be an unending experience. Far, far, far beyond the death of this body, which may be around the corner for tomorrow prayer. So, why being concerned with anything mundane when love is so powerful and goes beyond anything and everything? That is our advertisement statement towards the conditioned souls. And it's also our advertisement when we talk to the impersonalists. So you want to give up all desires? And then what? When you give up all the desires, then what are you going to do? Then I don't know what to do, because then there's nothing more to be done. Then you just become one with Brahman. So what about all the invitation to devotional service in the Gita? Can you simply dismiss them? Can you ignore them? Can you say Bhaktyamam is an invitation, an invention, a smoke screen, that such love doesn't exist? And if such love doesn't exist, it means because there's no two. There's no Lord and there's no you. Therefore they say, oh, Shivoham. I'm Shiva. I'm the Absolute. They say, there's nobody else to be served except myself. So, if there's really nobody else to serve, then what is the need of retaining any individuality? Then we can enter into the cosmic whatsoever spirit and energy. Of course, Lord Krishna glorifies his energy. Brahmano hiya pratishtam amrita. She says, I'm the source of that Brahman, which is full of ecstasy, which is wonderful. But the devotees say it's wonderful, but compared to bhakti, it's just like the water contained in the impression of the footprint of a calf in comparison to the nectarian ocean of bhakti ras. So you want to get stuck in that footprint of a calf in your little Brahman ecstasy, or you want to enter into the ocean of bhakti rasa and be there in the deepest of all spiritual feelings and commitments, absorbed. that you can understand a little bit when you read the Antya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita. You can understand, my God, I'm approaching a world where separation is intolerable and where it manifests to enhance the union. Unbearable circumstances. Giving up control. Lord Chaitanya lost control over himself. His limbs elongated. He absorbed in the feelings of Vrindavan in such a way that he lost his composure. When a fisherman pulled him out in the net, and Lord Chaitanya was lost to the devotees, and they were looking for him desperately everywhere. Where is he? Where is he? Finally, they met a fisherman who was mad. He was jumping. They said, oh, what happened to him? And they found out he fished out from the water. So they went there, and they saw Lord Chaitanya in a fisher's net, in total absorption, in the divine meditation of Vrindavan. And they were thinking, oh, what's happening? Yeah, he's still alive. And they chanted the holy names into his ears. And finally, he said, why are you making so much noise? He came from his Vrindavan Lila absorption to discover that his loving devotees were there. These type of descriptions, they are, again, beyond the capacity of our mind's comprehension. But we are very grateful that Srila Prabhupada has shared this nectar with us, that he has shared this confidential invitation to Vrindavan, and that we could come in contact with the pure, realized devotees who had no other concerns on their mind and on their heart than to serve the divine loving couple, Radha Govindaji, and their joint manifestation of Lord Chaitanya, and their beloved associate and servant of the maximum degree, Lord Nityananda, as he made the plans that this will be spread to everywhere in the world, because he knew that unless a special mercy intervenes in Kali Yuga, nobody could ever catch a glimpse of all this type of life and message. And through his grace, chosen devotees like Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada were really empowered to impress upon the world the entrance, the admission to the world of love of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, something which could hardly be conceived of as a possibility, considering the intensity and the extremes which Gaudiya Vaishnavism stands for. And I always admire the face of the devotees who previously to Srila Prabhupada were putting their heart and soul in the belief that Lord Chaitanya's movement would actually reach every town and village of the world. Because at that time, only in Bengal they were paying attention to it, relatively intensive. But his devotees always preached Prithiviti Achiyate Nagaradigram. So they had great faith. But they didn't know where did it manifest and when will it manifest. Who will take to the message of Lord Chaitanya? It's rather difficult. And then all for a sudden, surprising to one and all, came this wave of Goloka Vrindavan, sweeping around the planet like the greatest of the tidal waves ever seen in history, and going through every little area on this planet, taking Harinam, Shastra, and Bhakta Sangha. A tidal wave of devotion emanated from the chanting of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And if you ask him, he'll say, no, it came from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. If you ask him, he'll say, no, it came from Gorky Shodas Babaji Maharaj. And if you ask him, he says, never, it came from Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And so if you ask anybody of the Vaishnavas, they will not accept that they are any crucial, important person in the whole divine plan. Nevertheless, the tidal wave is there, and they are the ones who were given the chance to push it and to bring it into existence. And now this tidal wave is not even stopped because of their physical absence from this world. No. It is rather increasing in size. And the teeny little misgivings, difficulties between different Vaishnava missions, they are of absolutely no significance when it comes to the consideration of what the divine plan is all about and how is it being manifesting even in the last corners of South America or in China or in Russia or anywhere. But nevertheless, also to be concerned and to consider is, whoever you are, my dear devotees, pride comes before the fall. So be an humble instrument of the love of the Lord, and you fare the best and go the furthest, and you will do the best for your own service. Because if you are not pure and you are not surrendered, then how can you be part of that transmission of love and intensity? It got to be alive in you if you want to give it to others. Anyhow, these are just some remarks I wanted to make in connection with this declaration of how important it is not to commit nam aparadha, not to commit offenses to the holy name of the Lord. Can one gain anything by making a show of chanting the holy names without giving up the offenses? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur answers in the Harinam Chintamani. Without realizing the difference between Nama and Nam Abbas, many people think that the holy names consists of only alphabets, and therefore assume that by chanting without faith, they can attain perfection. To substantiate their claim, they present the history of Ajamila and various scriptural injunctions. It has been described before that the holy name is fully transcendental. Therefore, it cannot be understood by the blunt material senses. Thus, unless one takes shelter of chanting the holy names offenselessly, there is no possibility of achieving any fruit from one's chanting. The result of a faithless person attains when he utters the holy names without faith is that later he will be able to chant faithfully. Therefore, those who misinterpret the holy name glories and advertise the holy name as a limb of fruitive activities, considering the holy name as a mundane sound vibrations, are extremely materialistic and are offenders at the feet of the holy name. So if we are not on a level of very sincere attempt to serve our Gurudev, then we can only get from that maybe later we will reach this understanding, that we will reach this mercy to be able to chant. Everything is positive about chanting, nevertheless, but there's qualities of the chanting. And the quality of the chanting is that we want to become an instrument of His love and not utilize Him for anything inferior.